What is the most resilient parasite? A bacteria, a virus, an intestinal worm? An idea, resilient, highly contagious. Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it is almost impossible to eradicate. An idea that is fully formed, fully understood, that sticks right in there somewhere. All developers in the world, they've got an idea that has been planted deep in their mind, and it's growing every day as if it's their own. And that idea, it's an idea about React.js. And that idea, it's Jordan's idea, the guy who created React.js. I am Matthew Msengati, the greatest, the designer and developer from South Africa. In this video, I am going to explore that idea, hoping to bring it up, bring it forth, unpack it, and dissect it. Why am I going to do that? Simply because the YouTube community has missed that idea, because it has been planted deeply such that even us as developers, we are failing to explain it because we think it's our own. It has grown so natural such that we think the idea is our own. You are not going to learn React from do what I do, follow my own coding. WhatsApp clone, Netflix clone, Threads clone. In this video, I am going to give you the core of what React is as a beginner so that you can understand React. Not just code, but you need to understand the essence. And that won't be coming from me as Matthew from South Africa, but from Jordan himself, the guy who invented and created React. Without wasting time, let's just jump straight into it. This is Jordan. He's talking about React. Okay, I'm not going to play the video because this is not my content and I don't want his voice to form part of my own video. Maybe YouTube might have a problem with that. But let's read what he says. I think that something deeper is going on. I think that React is putting a new idea about how to build apps into people's brains. And it's that core idea that feels rewarding to people. And my question is, which YouTube video has you ever had trying to explain React from this perspective? And I'm going to answer that for you. 0. I am the first one. And also, I didn't get into this point easy, but I have been confused and I deeply wanted to understand what React is. Who created React? Because in YouTube, there is a lot of opinions and a lot of videos about React, and most of them, it's clones, it's React clones, and they didn't give me exactly what I want. So in this video, I am going to explain and unpack React to you from this perspective. If maybe you are expecting a code, if maybe you are expecting a source code, if maybe you are expecting Visual Studio Code, you want to see something, unfortunately, this video is not for you. That's what I did for many years and I didn't understand React. When I thought I understood it, it was not performant, it was not efficient. Why? Because I had the wrong mindset. When I'm running my React code, it kept on re-rendering multiple times. And it was not efficient because I didn't understand what this guy is saying here. It's about the idea. That's the core essence of React. React has got an idea that is trying to share or communicate to us. But as developers, we have missed the point. Now, let's just jump straight into it. What I decided to do, I decided to ask ChatGPT to create a simple program for me, simply because this video is going to be packed with concepts which are being broken down, not coding. So I'm running away as much as I can from coding. Obviously, and eventually, when I'm trying to explain these things to you, I have to get into code. But at the moment, we need to talk about the concepts. So I've asked ChatGPT to create a simple HTML code for me. And if you want to know what this code does, it uses HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. This is the code. These are the results. When you click here, it tells you this item has been clicked. When you click here, it tells you this item has been clicked. And when you click here, it tells you this item has been clicked. Then after that, I asked also ChatGPT to generate the same code, but to create a React version of the code. And here is the React version of the code. So what we are going to do going forward, we are going to take vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and we are going to compare it to a React version of the same script. After that, we are going to dive deep and unpack, and I will explain to you the React fundamentals based on that. Obviously, as developers and the YouTube community, we are caught up into React cool features, which the inventor and the pioneers of React didn't have cool features in mind, unfortunately. Okay, they were having a certain idea about creating mobile apps. And this video, it's about that idea. So what we are going to do now, we are going to create a React app from scratch. Okay, and then I am going to copy and paste this code, and then we are going to see side by side a vanilla project and a React project of the same thing, and then I'm going to explain in details about React and its concept. Okay, let me just type here so that I can get a command to create a React application. So if you want to create a React application, you just copy and paste this command. So as you can see here, I've got the code that I have copied from ChatGPT. Okay, this is pure HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. Now we are going to create a React app. Okay, let's go to our terminal and paste the code. Okay, create React, my app. I am happy with that. Now let's create that app. As a beginner, you might be wondering, how did we get here? I've got you covered. I'm going to tell you exactly how did we get here. Okay, let me just quickly check here. So the first thing that you need to do is to install Node.js. I've got a video in my YouTube channel about how to install Node.js. Node.js makes it possible for you to run modern JavaScript application in your own Windows computer. Okay, let me just quickly check here. My apologies about that. This video is not supposed to be far away. Here is it. Okay, if you want to know how to install Node.js, you can go and check this video, okay, on installing Node.js. And then you need to download Visual Studio Code, this as a code editor. You can download also other code editors of your choice. Okay, let's just click Y and proceed. So if you have done installing Node and created also downloaded Visual Studio VS Code, and then that means we are ready to go. So now I'm creating a React application. After I'm done creating a React application, I am going to run it, copy and paste the code from ChatGPT, and we are going to run these codes side by side, and I'm going to explain the fundamentals of React from that perspective. I'm hoping to make a lot of things clear, things that you won't get from following somebody creating a WhatsApp clone, a Netflix clone, or a Dribble clone. Since this is taking some time, I'm going to save you some time and pause the video. I will come back when it's finished. This is the folder my dash app. This is the React application. Okay. So after the system has done, I just ran the command npm start, but I was in the wrong folder, meaning that I was not inside this folder, which was a problem. That's why you see these errors. The application didn't run. What we need to do, we need to open this folder in a different Visual Studio Code. Let's do that. Let's open a new Visual Studio Code so that we can have this project side by side. We are going to come here, right click, and reveal in Explorer. When we are here, we are just going to copy this code, and then we go to the new Visual Studio Code and open this folder. Paste here and open this folder. Now that we've opened this folder, you can see that the parent folder is the app folder. What we are going to do from here, we are going to run npm start. We are starting the React application. Now we need to burn the concept. This is the beginning. Okay. So how am I going to organize these? Okay, let me just switch back and forth. Okay, let me clear this. Clear this. So this is the index file for JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Contrary to that, we've got a JavaScript, we've got a React.js application. As you can see, here is the folder. Okay, so let's just compare these two applications. Okay, let me just put them side by side. Okay, as you can see, this is the vanilla project, which is clean JavaScript, clean HTML, and clean CSS. Okay, and then let's just wait for this React application to load. Okay, as you can see, the React application is downloading. So what we need to do now, we need to see the React version of the application. How are we going to do that? We are going to copy this code, and then we are going to go to this React application. Under this src folder, we are going to create a file named item list. We are going to name it JS. And then we are going to paste this file here. As you can see, this is just the copy as it is from ChatGPT. And then this is item list. The only thing that was not done here, this item list has not been exported. Okay, export default item list. If you don't understand this export and import here in React, please don't mind. For now, don't mind much about this part. I will explain it maybe in other videos or as we continue. So what we did, we've just created a new component, a new React component, which is item list, and we need to render this component in this page. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete everything. Or there's no need for me to delete everything. Let me just remove everything that is inside the render. Okay, and then from there, I'm going to import the item list. As you can see, here is the item list that we've created, and that is it. And then I will click save. Let's go back to the React application and see how it looks like. Okay, it looks like we are having an error. That's not much of a problem. At Coded Design, we are used to errors. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are just going to click undo. What we are going to do, let's just delete everything and press RNFE and then press enter. This is just a clean component, I can say, a clean app component. The difference is this is much cleaner, and I have used a plug-in which is called ES7. In case you want those shortcuts as well, this one, you need to install this plug-in so that you can create these shortcuts. And then what we are going to do, let's quickly check what's in here. Okay, let me just type anything so that we can be sure. Oh, okay, my apologies, guys. I am used to React Native. Okay, my apologies. So let's click here. Let's type RFCE, not RNFCE. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, let's click save. This is a div. Let me just say testing. Let me test and save. Let's see. As you can see, guys, we've got test here. So this means that we can, I keep on going to the wrong folder. Let me first close the things that I'm not going to use. Okay. Now let's import that component. Item list. Let's see. Fail to execute, remove child or node. The node to be removed is not a child of the node. It looks like we are having an error. Let's see, did I copy the right code? Okay, where is item list? Here is item list. Okay, here is item list. Let's scroll down. It looks like everything works well for me. Let's look at here. Render the component. React DOM.render.item list. Okay, as you can see, we've got get element by ID. I don't think this is necessary. Okay, I don't think this is necessary. Okay, I don't think this is necessary. We don't have to render this component here. As you can see, guys, my apologies about the ups and downs, but we have managed to get our React component working. So these are twins. This is the vanilla project and this is the React project. Okay, now let's do some comparison and then I will explain to you some React concepts. Okay, the first comparison that I want us to do, let's look at the amount of code. Okay, let's look at the amount of code. Let's see. This is the HTML. Okay, let's just scroll. It's 74 lines. Okay, in terms of the project, it's light, as you can see, because this is just only one file. Okay, one file for a vanilla project and 74 line. Let's go back here to the React.js. A lot of files, okay, let's look at the lines. 46 lines. As you can see, guys, if we can some sort of remove some of the empty spaces here, this might not even make 46 lines. As you can see, it can be less. Okay, now in terms of the project, okay, in terms of the project files, this is a lot of files, but remember, we didn't create these files, so it still feels like one file. Why? We did nothing, absolutely nothing, in order for us to get this file. We simply ran a command, npx, a command create react app, and that was it. So we were not the one who were making this structure. So for me, if this is light, obviously even the React files, it's still lighter because we were not the ones who were creating it. In terms of code, as you can see here, we are having 74 lines of code, meaning that as a developer, you have to write this. Okay, you have to write this. But here, you just have few lines to write. Okay, so guys, we are going to get into the essence of React. Okay, the idea behind React is to create performant and efficient user interface. Let's start from there. What if maybe I want to have a certain way, efficient way of fetching data from the API? The React team decides only to solve one problem, the user interface problem, not data fetching problem. If you want to solve a data fetching problem, you just have to use another library and use it with React, which is you can use Axios. So fix your mind into user interface. Number two, don't think of React as a programming language. It is not a programming language, but it is a library. Okay? Let's just make an example of a real world library. A library, it's a library, but it's not a book. Inside the library, you might find shelves. That inside the shelves, there are books, but a library is not a book. React is not a programming language, it's a library, meaning that inside it, there are some shelves and some books. The shelving, the way it has been arranged, and the actual books that you find in that library, this is the idea, the resilient idea in our minds that React is trying to push to us. As a developer, if you don't understand this idea, you might take time to become a senior developer or at least to understand React. Even if you might create clones and portfolio project, that doesn't mean you understand React. This understanding, believe me, it's important. I know it's very rare in the YouTube community, but it's important. You need to understand the concept, okay? So if we are talking about this file, okay, let's just quickly compare these files, okay? Let's go back to JavaScript, okay? Let's see. How many languages do we have in this file? Okay? We've got HTML. As you can see, this is HTML, okay? Inside HTML, we've got CSS. This is the second language, okay? Inside here, let's see. Also, we've got JavaScript, okay? We've got JavaScript. So in this file, we've got three, not necessarily languages. Let me say like three technologies. Let me put it that way. We've got three technologies. HTML as a mockup language, CSS as a styling language, and JavaScript as a programming language. Three in one, okay? Meaning that you have to know these syntax, okay? And also how to link these, okay? Here obviously, because I've asked ChatGPT to create one file for me, everything is inside one file. But when you are creating a real world application, you are going to have CSS as an external style, as external file that you have to link, and you are going to have JavaScript as an external file that you will have to link. Number of technologies. Now let's go to React. Okay, it looks like to me we've just got one technology here if we are saying in terms of, if we are thinking in terms of technologies. Okay, we've got a JavaScript function. This is just a normal JavaScript function, yes, but it's not inside a script tag as a separate group of instructions. Okay, it's right where the component is, okay, where the user interface is. Let's call everything a user interface. Where the user interface is, we've got a JavaScript here. Okay, go down, go down. We've got some states. We'll talk about these later. We've got some handle click. Okay, and we've got something called JSX. Okay, to render the item list. As you can see, this is the JSX. Okay, this is the JSX. Okay, as you can see, guys, very, very nice and neat and few lines. Okay, let's go back to the normal HTML. Okay, as you can see, this is an HTML document. Okay, it's a bit longer. Okay, and also the way things have been handled here, they've been handled a little bit traditional. Okay, now we've got the old way and we've got the new way, the modern way in which React.js is doing it. Now let me show you exactly what React.js is some sort of hiding or removing away from you as a developer so that you can focus on building user interfaces instead of the implementation. Okay, this is a function on the HTML. This is a function. It's called render items. As you can see, what it does, it renders the items. Okay, but when you go to React, you've got a function which is render that you don't really know how it works. It's none of your business. How does this function renders the DOM elements? You don't have to know that. React took care of that efficiently and effectively so that you can focus on what? On what you are good at, which is developing performant user interfaces. As you can see, guys, we don't know how this render function, this function that returns, okay, this function which will render the actual DOM elements, we don't know what is involved in this return, but we are just using it. I hope now you are starting to see the difference between the traditional JavaScript mixed with HTML and CSS and React. Okay, meaning that what you need to know or master here, or you grasp here, is that there are some functionality that has been encapsulated, okay, that has been hidden to me as a developer, because according to React, according to the angle of React, the angle of attack, you don't have to know this. I hope that point is clear. So in terms of technologies, we've got some three technologies here trying to work together. You have to link them on your own. But when it comes to React, we've just got a component. Okay, how does this component interact with its own CSS, and how JavaScript has been linked here? That is none of our business. I hope that is clear. Now let's look at how JavaScript renders these files. Okay, how it renders these files, and also we are going to take a look at how React renders the same thing. Okay, let's go back. Now, as you can see, let's say this is our JavaScript. Okay, this is an array, as you know it, array of items, and we've got a function that actually renders. Okay, this function needs to get the elements, okay, to get the HTML elements by their IDs. So let's just look for an element which is item list. As you can see, here is the element item list and it's empty. Okay, now after JavaScript has hooked that empty element, okay, then it creates item list dot inner HTML. What it does, it's some sort of deleting everything that is here. It's like making sure that this is clean, there is nothing. That's why it's referring to the inner HTML. And then we are creating a for each function. Okay, it's more like a for loop. Okay, or it's more like a loop in a way. Okay, this is a for each function. Okay, now it's taking items to say that in this array, for each item that is here, do this. Meaning that do this with this item, do this with this item, do this with this item. I think, guys, this is the actual rendering. Okay, let's look at how it renders. Variable, we're declaring a variable which is li is equal to document.createElement. This is creating an element, an HTML element. If this has been created by HTML, you are just declaring this way. It's possible to create also the same element using JavaScript. So this is how you will do it, but in terms of the list item, okay? An li tag. var li document.create an li element, okay? li.text content, okay, is equal to, my apologies about this, I wish this highlighting thing could not be there, okay? So li.text content, inside the text content put this name, okay? And then li.add event listener, you need to add an event listener so that when somebody clicks, you perform this function, you some sort of execute this function and pass the item, okay, which is what item it is. Let's see, for each item here, so that item will be this, okay, which is this object, okay. And then from then, let's go to that definition of that function. In that function, you take this item and create also another variable, item detail, which is document.getElement by ID. We are looking for the item details container, which is this one. Okay, I assume we're gonna make sure that it's clean, of which we don't here. We are not erasing things. Okay, let's see, .getElement by ID, and then .inner HTML, and then we push the name inside there, okay, and then we call this function render item. Let's go back and see this practically. When I click here, we are rendering. When I click here, we are rendering. When I click here, we are rendering. We have added the event listener here, as you can see. Now let's look at React. Okay, now let's look at am I on React? Yes. Okay, now on React, we are importing some things from React. We will talk about these things, okay? Function item list, okay? This is a component. Here is some sort of an array, okay? Where is that array? Yes, here is an array, okay, which is an array of items. We are setting this array of items to these items, more like declaring the same way we were declaring in the previous the same way we were declaring in the previous file, okay. So let's continue. Define the state. Don't mind much about this, okay, don't mind much about this, because here I want to take you step by step. If I can explain a lot of things, I will, first of all, I will just talk about divergent topics and concept which I might confuse you. Remember, here I want to plant an idea so deep in your mind such that it's easier for you to understand React. Let's continue, guys, okay? Now, this is a function to handle the click, okay? Look at what's going on inside the click, okay? Remember also here we've got a function that handles the click event. Now here this function handles the click event. We just call a function set selected state item and we pass the item. We are only doing one line. Let's go back to HTML. Where is the function that renders the item? Okay, specifically the one that handles the clicked event. As you can see here, li.add the click event. Here is the function that we're executing. Inside it, we are calling this show item details, okay. In show item details, we've got two lines of code here, but not just two elegant lines of code. It's two code heavy lines of code. As you can see, there's a lot of things that you have to know here. You have to check the document itself and get element by ID and pass the ID of an element. Once you are done with that, you need to take that element dot in HTML, and then you have to create an HTML element, pass item. As you can see, there is some sort of a little bit of heavy work that needs to be done here. So let's compare this heavy work and this lightweight work. I hope you are starting to see what React does and what React is, or the essence of React. Okay, this is clean. That's the idea behind React. You are focusing on user interface, not on scaffolding, on getting the DOM elements. With React, you don't manipulate the DOM elements. Okay, this is a document. Okay, the DOM element, document object model. You don't deal with the nuts and bolts of the web technology. Okay, that has been some sort of encapsulated, or that has been extracted away from you as a developer. Let's go back. As you can see, this is beautiful and elegant. Now we are rendering. This is the JSX, okay, the actual function that renders the elements. Let's go back and see. Okay, we have a loop. As you can see, also we have a loop, but here we are using the dot map function. On the same items array, we are using a dot map function, as you can see. Then we are looping here according to how many items do we have there. Okay, and then what else? As we are looping, this is an li tag. As you can see, we've got an li tag, and also we are pushing the dot name. But let's look at how elegant this is and that one is. Let me also use a prettier formatter to format this code. Okay, okay, as you can see, it looks the same, not a problem. So now let's get into here. This is the function that renders. Okay, as you can see, guys, this is a bit heavy. Okay, based on where I am now in terms of explanation, you might want, or you might feel like vanilla project, whether it's vanilla HTML, vanilla CSS, or vanilla JavaScript, it's something that I have to run away from it. It's like you don't like it. This is not the essence of that video. I'm not here to say you don't need vanilla JavaScript. Remember, React is a library. It's manipulating vanilla JavaScript. You need vanilla JavaScript. If you've got time, just go and check what's going on here. But I'm just here to show you that this is what vanilla JavaScript is, but this is the pimped or the revamped version of vanilla JavaScript in React. Clean, straight to the point, everything that you don't really need to know about, it has been moved away from you. Okay, so this rendering compared to this rendering, as you can see, guys, this is a mission and a half. I hope you are starting to see what's going on here. Okay, now I want us to talk about let's take a closer look at the click event. Okay, at this event. Okay, how this click is being implemented. As you can see, we've added an event listener, which is a click event, using this function. But let's look at how that happens here. Okay, as we are mapping through these items. Okay, also we are having an on click event, and on click event we are executing handle click. As you can see, here is handle click. Okay, well, it's still the same handle click, but this has been hidden away from you. What has been hidden away from you? This part. Okay, first of all, adding event listeners, this has been hidden away from you. As you can see, this is the only thing that you see. There is an on click, and you are calling a function when it's clicked. How the events were added, that is none of your business as a developer. If you feel like this is important and this is helping, please help me and do subscribe, like, and also shoot a comment below. Okay, let's say you are starting to feel like, Matthew, this is something that I have never heard or seen before. This is an exclusive video. It was not supposed to have made it to my YouTube channel because it forms part of my 10-hour coaching course for my premium students. Okay, it forms part of the coaching course. In this coaching course, obviously, I'm dealing with people who are new into coding, not only into React or JavaScript, but they are new into coding. If you might want to join the 10-hour coaching course, you can schedule here a discovery call where we are going to get into a call. I am going to understand who you are, where you are come from, and what is your unique challenge in the development industry, or in web design and development, even the mobile application. Okay, particularly with React. Once I know where you are coming from, I will tailor made a course that suits your specific need. The video that you are watching right now, it has been tailor made to suit a specific need for my student. That's why it's like this, because it's solving somebody else's problem. Enough about that. Obviously, as you can see, this is the cost of the course. 10-hour coaching course. I solve your own problem. If you might want to know more about it, you can download the brochure here. Okay, there is a brochure here about the 10-hour coaching course. It explains everything. It's still loading. Enough about this. Let's just continue. So let's look at the applications. The same thing. Okay, let's look at this one. The same thing. Okay, but it has been done differently. What is the difference between this one and this one? There is no difference. Okay, but there is an idea that this one is pushing. React. It's a certain idea, it's a certain way of doing things than this one. Now let's just get into the actual, what can I say, the client side. Okay, maybe somebody might feel like, oh, this is short, sweet, and performant, like it's clean and easy to understand. Also, the other thing that I want you guys to catch here, even though I'm not going to explain in detail, most people, they always ask how much of JavaScript do I need to know in order to get into React? Guys, for me, I would like to say you don't need much of the JavaScript. Why? Because React is trying to hide that JavaScript away from you. That's what it does. Okay. Let me pause the video. In fact, guys, let me accept the defeat with dignity. Okay. Let me end the video here for now, because I'm going to experience disturbance. My apologies about that, but I am going to continue with this. Obviously, if you might want for me to continue, also please help by liking the video. Based on the number of videos of likes, it will give me an idea of this is the content that you want to see. I'm Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer from South Africa. Don't forget to code badly with pride. See you on the next one.